Hello everyone. In this part of kinematics of fluids, we are going to discuss about translation, rotation and deformation. So basically when there is a motion of fluid, when fluid moves from one part to another part, one point to another point, it often undergoes these three things: translation, rotation and deformation. Now the motion of solids and motion of fluids is a little bit different. There is a lot of difference between the motion of solids and motion of fluids. For example, if you have a solid, then when a solid body is in motion, what happens is, if this is a solid body, suppose, and you consider suppose fixed points on that body. Let us say these are the 4 points A, B, C and D. Now the angle between these two segments is suppose 90 degrees. Alright, so these are mutually perpendicular segments AB and AD, and this is a solid body. Now when this body is moving from one place to another, it is translating. Of course it will translate, but during the translation, so if you see the position of these 4 points, if you observe the position of these 4 points, after some time what you will get, suppose this is that body and this is these are so you will get A dash, B dash, C dash and D dash. What you will observe, all the 4 points, there is no relative displacement between the 4 points. So the included angle, this angle will not change. So this happens because in solids the velocity at all the particles is same. Alright, so velocities are not a function of space. Alright, velocities are a function of time, but they do not change with space. So velocity at this point and velocity at this point will not be different. Both the velocities will be same. Alright, so whenever it is moving, it will not deform. So this happens in case of a solid, but in fluids it is different. What happens? In fluid motion, if we consider some fluid and let us say there is an element A, B, C, D. Alright. So now when this fluid element is in motion, when this fluid element moves, what happens? The velocities at different points, at different particles is not same. Let us say this is one point A, this is one point B. Now the velocity at A will not be same as the velocity at B. Since the U, let us say U is also a function of space. X, Y, Z. V is also a function of X, Y, Z, and W is also a function of X, Y, Z. Since the velocity components are a function of space, what happens? Velocities will be different at different locations. Okay, so when the fluid element is moving, it will also deform as it moves. So let us say it is moving like this, and you check the position of this element after some time, you may get something like this. This was the original element. It may be something like this. This was A, B, C, D, earlier one. Now this is A, B dash, C dash, D dash. Now why this happens? Now this included angle, earlier it was 90 degree between AB and AD. It has no longer remained 90 degrees. Those segments are no longer mutually perpendicular. Now why this is happening in fluids? Because when A is moving with a different U and V. The point B is moving with a different velocity in X and Y directions. So you will get elongation, you will get deformation, etc. So this happens in case of a fluid motion. So there is a difference between solid and fluid motion. One more thing, when there is also a difference in rotation. When a solid body is rotating, when the solid body will rotate, still the rotation will not cause any deformation, because again the angular velocities at all the points will be constant. So relative displacement will not take place between the two points or two segments. There will be no relative displacement, but relative displacement takes place in case of a fluid, and that's why we are going to see the three type of motions, that is translation, rotation and deformation in case of a fluid motion. So first I will take a very simple case where you can call it as a pure translation. Pure translation. Now when does this take place? Pure translation, and we will also see the meaning of this pure translation. Okay, let us say consider a two-dimensional flow field. Okay, I am considering a two-dimensional flow field, x and y directions, just this plane. Assume that this plane is your plane of motion. On this plane, this element A, B, C, D is moving. This is A, B, C and D. This is a fluid element A, B, C, D. Okay. Length of AB is suppose delta x and length of AD is suppose delta y. Okay. This is delta x and this is delta y. Now, let us say the flow is uniform. Flow is uniform. So, in uniform flow, what is the case? Velocities are constant with respect to space. So, U is constant and V is constant. Okay, what are U and V? U is the velocity component in x direction, V is the velocity component in y direction. I'll just write it here, right here. Okay, U is velocity component in this direction, okay, and V is the velocity component in this direction. Okay, now both U and V are constant, so they are not a function of space. Okay, so if you change the x coordinate or y coordinate, both U and V are not going to change. Alright, so the U component of velocity at A, now consider this segment AB, okay, the included angle is again 90 degree. Now in unit time, how much this A will move? Okay, this particle A will move equal to the, how much? Equal to the U, its velocity component in x direction. So let us say just write it here. U and V are constant. Okay, so in unit time, how much distance will this A travel? Let us say A is here in unit time. Okay, how much distance it will travel? It should travel a distance of its velocity in x direction, that is U. So this is your A. Okay, how much distance B will travel? B will also travel a distance of U in unit time. Why? Because U and V are constant, they are not changing in space. So B will also travel the same. Okay, so it will be B, and this distance is how much? It is also U. Okay, so A is also traveling U, B is also traveling U. Okay, what about the V? What about the vertical components of velocity, that is V? Okay, why AB will not rotate or why it will not deflect like this? It will always move parallel, because the V component of velocity, that is the vertical component of velocity of A, is what? V. So how much distance it will travel in vertical direction? It will travel a distance of V. Okay, now how much B will travel? B will also travel V. Since V is also fixed, it does not change with respect to x coordinates. Okay, on segment AB, y coordinate is same, but x coordinates are changing, but still b is constant, it is not changing with x coordinate, so this will also travel b. So this segment AB will go on traveling parallel. Okay, same is the case with D. How much D will travel? Again D will travel, let us say this is D, C and D. Okay, how much this D will travel? Again it will also travel equal to V. Okay, that's why when this element is moving in a uniform flow where u and v are constant, there will be no change in the included angle. Okay, since component AD will also move in the same way, it will be parallel to each other, to AD. Why this AD will not shift? Since the u velocities are also constant on this entire segment, at different points the horizontal component of velocity, that is u, it is fixed, so it will keep moving like this. Okay, parallel. So that's why this included angle will not change and it will remain as it is. So this is a case of pure translation. So you will get a pure translation when you have a uniform flow and u and v components are constant. Okay. So this is the first case of pure translation. This is exactly like solid body motion. This is exactly what happens in a motion of solid bodies. Now we will see a special case. We will slowly introduce velocities which are a function of space. Okay, slowly one by one, case by case we will go and try to find out different type of deformations in the fluid motion. Now here second is a special case where we have, now we will consider u as a function of only one space component. U is a function of x. Okay, I am not considering time because let's keep the exercise simple and the flow must be a steady flow. So u is not a function of time also. Okay, so del u by del t is 0. So all flows are steady flows here. We are only talking about the changes in spatial components. Okay, so u is a function of x, this is a special case, and v is a function of y. Okay, now what does this mean? U will change with x, but u will not change with y. U is not dependent upon y. For any y coordinate, u will be same, but for different x coordinates, u will change. Okay, since u is a function of x, so it also means that del u by del y will be equal to 0. There will be no rate of change of u with respect to y. Okay, and similarly for this, del v by del x, again it will be 0. Okay, this is the implication. This is a very simple case. Now we are going to see what will happen in this special case. This is a non-uniform flow, but one special type of non-uniform flow. So again consider a planar flow, x and y axis. Okay, just as this board is the plane of motion, this board is the plane of motion, x, this is the x axis, this is the y axis. So fluid element will move along the x and y axis. Okay, the velocity components in x we have called as u, and v and y we have called as v. Okay, now let's take this element. So A, B, C and D. Again we have taken a simple fluid element. Okay, A, B, C, D. AB is, length AB is delta x, length AD is delta y. Okay, lengths are delta x and delta y. Okay, now let's see what will happen in a unit time. In a unit time, the thing which is going to happen, we will try to plot that. So let's say in unit time, what will happen? Look at the segment AB first. We'll first think about this segment. What will happen to this segment AB? Okay, the particle, the point A has horizontal velocity how much? Let us say it is u. Okay, so this is u. Okay, now different points on this segment AB will have same u or different u. The horizontal velocity component u will be same or different. Of course it will be different since u is a function of x. So if x coordinate is changing, the u velocities are changing. So on this line AB, different points will have different velocities along the x direction. Alright, so it means that in unit time, if A is suppose traveling a distance u, okay, this is u suppose. How much this A will travel? U. So how much will B travel? B will travel a different distance. Why? Because velocity at B will be different. So how different? Let's say B, so velocity at B will be, I am talking about the horizontal velocity, it will be u plus del u by del x into delta x. Okay, so how I have reached here? U is changing along x. So what is the rate of change of u with respect to x? It will be del u by del x. Okay, this is the rate of change per unit length, per unit delta x. But I want to find out the velocity at B and how much length, over how much length the u is changing, delta x. So I will multiply the gradient by delta x. So we are getting u plus del u by del x into delta x. This is the velocity at point B. So this much distance it will travel in unit time, this point B. So let us say this is A dash I mean, and this is B dash. Okay, so B has traveled u plus del u by del x into delta x. This much it will travel, and again the line will be parallel. A dash B dash will be parallel. Now how it will be parallel? Its length will change. The length of this segment has increased here. Why? Because velocities, I have considered that velocities will be different. The u velocities are different. So velocity at A is u, velocity at B is different, extra, u plus del u by del x into delta x. So both A and B have traveled different distances. So there is a elongation, linear elongation. But why there is no deflection or rotation of this segment AB? AB has traveled parallel. Why? Let's think about it. Why it is still parallel? Because you see, the vertical velocity of A is how much? Let us say it is v. Okay, it is v. So how much is the vertical velocity at B? It will also be v, because the vertical velocity components are not a function of x. Okay, vertical velocity components are only a function of y. They do not change with x. Del v by del x is 0. So amount of vertical distance this will travel A, B will also travel the same distance. Okay, so this segment is parallel. Now same case takes place with this segment AD. Okay, think about AD. Now let's say A has vertical velocity v. Alright, so how much distance it will travel? Let's say it has traveled distance v. In unit time it will travel v. Alright, this is okay. But how much distance this d will travel? It depends upon how much velocity, vertical velocity this d is having. Now see, different points on this segment AD, different points have different vertical velocities. They have different v. Why? Because v is a function of y. Y coordinates are changing, v is also changing. Alright, so therefore d will have a velocity of v plus del v by del y into delta y. Why? Del v by del y is the rate of change of velocity with respect to this y coordinate, and total on for how much distance we have to find out delta y. So multiply it by delta y. So this much distance, this D will travel. Okay, this is the D. Originally this was D. Okay, this was the original. Okay, now D has traveled. It has traveled V plus some extra amount, del V by del Y into delta Y. Okay, so that's why we are getting this linear elongation of this AD along Y axis. Okay, now again this segment is also elongating only in Y direction, it is not deflecting. Okay, it is not deflecting in X. Why? Because all the horizontal velocities on this line AD, the horizontal velocity of all the points is same. Why? Because horizontal velocity is not a function of y, so it is not changing with respect to y. Del u by del y is 0, so u velocities will be constant, so they will move constantly in when they are traveling in x direction. Their u velocities will not change, they are not different at top and bottom, so they will travel parallel, and that's why the included angle will still remain 90 degree, and you will get this final A dash, B dash, C dash and D dash. Okay, so this will be your final situation in unit time. In unit time, this element will deform in such a way that its segments will elongate linearly, but they will not rotate, they will not deform. Their included angle between two mutually perpendicular axes will remain 90 degrees only. Okay, now this case, from this case we define one term that is called as rate of linear deformation, because what type of deformation occurred here? Only linear deformation. So we define a rate of linear deformation. Or it is also called as rate of linear strain. Okay, rate of linear deformation or rate of linear strain. So rate of linear strain can be in, or rate of linear deformation can be along x axis, y axis or z axis. Okay, so rate of linear deformation along x axis, it is defined, it is denoted by epsilon xx. Okay, epsilon and a dot over the epsilon, this represents the rate of linear deformation. It is defined as the change in displacement per unit length per unit time of a linear segment, per unit time of a linear segment. Okay, so how so change in displacement per unit length per unit time of a linear segment. Now we want to find out in x axis, so linear segment in x axis. Fine, so I am not writing it in that ways. You can find out the change in displacement in all the three directions. So let's find out in x direction. Now in x direction, what is the change in displacement per unit length per unit time? So the original length was AB. Let's consider x direction. So segment AB is changing its length in x direction. Okay, so original length was delta x and what is the extra length? Okay, so let's find out the extra length here. Okay, this was AB, extra length is A, or new length is A dash B dash. So how much extra it has traveled? This is total, this distance is U plus del U by del X into delta X, and this distance is U. So remaining, this difference would be del U by del X into delta X. Okay, similarly, this component, this segment AD in Y direction, it has elongated. Okay, so how much is the difference or extra elongation? See, original was AD, new was A dash D dash. So this distance is V. From A to A dash is V, but from D to D dash is how much? V plus del V by del Y into delta Y. So this extra will be del V by del Y into delta Y. Okay, this. Okay. So therefore we can define change in displacement per unit time is how much in X? It is del U by del X into delta X. Okay, del U by del X into delta X. This is the displacement of a change in displacement of a linear segment, but per unit it is per unit time, but we also need per unit length. So original length was delta X. So that's why we will get del U by del X. Okay, so this is the rate of linear deformation in X along X axis. So similarly along Y axis it would be, see what is the change in linear deformation? It is del V by del Y into delta Y. This is per unit time. Del V by delta, del V by del Y into delta Y. We also want it per unit length. So divided by original length delta Y. So we are getting del V by del Y. Okay. So similarly you can also find the rate of linear deformation along Z axis. It will be del W by del Z. Okay. So this is how we define the rate of linear deformation or rate of linear strain. Okay. So this will in Z, if you have a motion along Z axis also such that W is a function of only Z, then you can also find out rate of linear deformation along Z axis. So in this way we get translation along with linear deformation. Okay, so what happened in this case, the fluid element translated, but because of the flow conditions, because of the velocity conditions of the velocity components, special conditions, what happened? Only linear deformation took place, only linear. Okay, so included angle did not change, it was still mutually perpendicular. Okay, so this is one case of linear strain. Okay, now in the next part we will see a more generalized case where U and V are components of both spatial coordinates X and Y. Thank you.